session. Love session. Monday night.
Good evening, everybody. Morris Media Live. I feel like I said something totally different. It's your girl, Akila Trinae, and you are tuned in to Love Sessions. And you are in store for a great show. As always, we've been off for a week, making sure that everybody had an opportunity to celebrate the holiday. But we are back. Today is July 10th, 2017. And Love Sessions is intellectual stimulation from 10 p.m. to midnight. Our conversation is devoted to bridging the conversation gap between men and women as a means to combat the war on relationships. We cover topics that are real, relevant, often overlooked, unmentioned, outright taboo, to shed light on our insecurities and our idiosyncrasies as a way to humanize the love experience. You're guaranteed to walk away from a show with greater insight on yourself and the people around you, and hopefully your relationship, and hopefully it will spark or stimulate conversation with your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, mate, homie, lover, friend. Situationship,
which Charles would be happy to know I have no longer.
Right, that you made
the one who
public.
presses me about it.
Right, made public on Facebook.
That makes it
but
real,
we're gonna get there in 1 second.
You're public
so let me tell you, the class is now in session first because we all need love. Okay. And I'm gonna allow Destiny to talk about her love experience, or she can just do sponsors. It's up to her.
I'm just saying, because Charles loves to. That's a situationship. Are you sure it's real?
Right.
So now that you know, Charles, it's real. Okay.
She made it public via Facebook.
Made it real.
It's official
not just
now.
Public. It's
So what does that mean?
Leave me alone.
Are you linked to his page?
I was always being claimed. You better relax.
I'm just
into our sponsors. Right. I would like to thank. I missed you guys, by the way. It's been a long time. I missed the show.
Sponsors first.
The update. It's just official, Charles. You were trying to tell me.
What does that make? What does that mean?
So.
She's in a relationship, not a situationship. She has a man.
Oh, okay.
That's what it means.
I thought you always
and he got a
man.
woman.
But according to you, I did it. So now I'm letting you know.
He's claiming.
Don't ever.
They're
play
claiming
me.
each
Don't
other.
Play me ever.
I got your back, Destiny.
You know what? Anyways, to our beautiful sponsors, starting with Revision Publishing. Revision.
What is it?
See, you had me messed up. Okay, we're gonna start over. Sugarfoot's gonna start over. So, Revision Publishing by the beautiful here, Akila Trinae, as well as. I always got to wait for her to do her shrine. That's my fault. So, then, as well, Dear Azuri, which means beauty in the lovely Swahili language, a movement to encourage women to properly heal from internalized pain and practice healthy communication. You guys can also find them on Instagram at Dear Azuri. To spell that for you guys one more time, it's UZURI. As well as their Facebook, Dear Azuri, or Tangi's personal page at Tangi Love, LUV, Yourself Terry. Also, they do have an event coming up July 15th. So you guys make sure you check out our social medias that Charles here is going to give to you for upcoming news on that.
Yes. Actually, this Saturday, before you go into that, so think about, meditate on what you're going to say, Charles. The event, I think, Felicia, you may have the flyer. It's this Saturday. It's called, or the title is, Do You Like It Raw? Okay? We're going to be talking about monogamy and polygamy. Yes, and
confronting.
Yes. And I guess it will
That's
be.
Deep,
and so
literally.
I'm hosting with TNG, so I'm really excited about that because this is like my first hosting.
So what inspired the title of this event?
Well, I think she wanted something catchy. I'm not the creator of the event. I am just one of the hosts. So I guess you have to come to the event to find out.
What's your
if
answer
you look
to
at
that
the
question?
very bottom,
So
How you taking that
there
question?
is
Yeah, what
a
is that? What's your answer?
website on eventbrite.com.
Our
If you
mic's
guys
working.
to Purchase
If you're
tickets. Yes,
hosting
you can
it,
go to Aquila Trinae
Give us
and
the
or
inside
Unation
scoop.
Radio
Give us the hot take.
to get your tickets now.
Or nah?
Do you like it raw or nah? From my husband, yes. Not from anyone else.
Good.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer. Good answer. Ding, 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 ding.
That's
She
a
gave
safe
herself
bet.
the own yes button.
No, that's a good way to go. And then, here goes the thing. See if you want to be a party's Like It Raw convos. You can.
Wait, did you see his
Like it
sad
raw.
air quotes though? They were like dying quotes.
So you can follow us on our social media, and our social media is _ UNation. Or actually, sorry, it's at
Redo,
UNation.
remix.
Yeah. All right.
He doesn't follow.
Okay, situation. All right. You can follow us at UNation Radio. That's our IG. You know what I'm saying? If you're into IG. If you're into Facebook, you can go to you can find us if you search UNation. That's the letter U, UNation Radio. Or you can go on Twitter. That's UNation _radio. And I also get a number because Detroit isn't here, basically.
I knew it was coming.
So yeah, basically what you can do is if you want to join in on this conversation today, if you want to talk to us, if you want to chime in on what we're talking about, what you can do is call us at 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. And I'm gonna kick it to Aquila and tell us about this topic.
One more time, guys. Sorry, back to me. Gotta steal it. But just so you guys know, we did start our blog. So you guys can also check out, follow, subscribe, all of that to our blog at lovesessionsblog.wordpress.com. Okay?
Hey, I can't wait.
lovesessionsblog.wordpress.com. Our first one is up from last show. And the link will also be in our Instagram after this show. So be ready for that.
I want to commend Miss Sugarfoot because I think that the blog is pretty dope. So,
Yeah.
Thank you.
hey, kudos to you, my darling. Kudos to you. So tonight we are talking about ghosting. Yes, ghosting. I said it. I'll say it one more time. Ghosting.
Ghost Ride the Whip.
I thought you were going to say, Ghost Rider. Okay.
Nah, that's the first thing I thought about. I was like, ghost riding. I don't know. Ghosting is. We'll get into it. I'll give my hot take when it comes up.
Look at him following the rundown.
Right. Hey, that's what happens when you take a week off. You kind of get an opportunity to pull it together, right?
Shake back.
And get it all on. So, whoa!
A ghost.
Like Ghost, right?
But he's
Howard.
He's Casper.
There he is.
He's like Casper, the friendly ghost, right?
Slide
he
in.
just popped up on us. Who are you?
Y'all know who it is, but you guys
Y'all know who it is.
Downtown Detroit. Hola, people.
I swear you got the late night radio voice. Like,
It's
it's just like,
that's been there
if
for
you
a
turn
while.
on that late, I don't know. Hush, Charles, we weren't talking to you.
Right. So, we're glad that you were able to make it. However, we are going to get into a couple of things before we get into our topic. Of course, we know that we just celebrated, as I said, 4th of July. So I don't know if anybody had anything outrageously amazing to share for 4th of July. If not, don't worry about it. You don't have to share it. But I know I celebrated by going to Hurricane Harbor, which was a lot of fun.
I know that was fun.
It's been a while since
And it
I've
was nice
actually
and
been
hot.
to a water slide park or water park or whatever they call them now. So it was kind of scary in a way because I was looking at these tubes and slides like, I don't really know if this is going to be fun. Like, you know, you kind of have
Yeah.
that kid fun, but then at
Did
the
you
same
get on the
time, you're
extreme?
like, I'm an adult, so...
Is it going to be that
I don't know.
fun?
So let me tell y'all what happened because y'all know something always happens to me. So I get in this tube Okay, with the little floaty, whatever the tube. I was in the tube with the tube. Okay,
I can't do it.
And I'm not gonna tell y'all about how I stopped in the tube. Okay,
No,
you know how hot and claustrophobic it was. I was scooting like, oh no, I can't die in the tube. Because how they gonna know?
You just
get
in the middle of the tube.
I'm just
somebody
saying-
else gonna come down and hit you.
But I didn't even want. Like I
didn't want
literally
that?
started. Okay, so I was like, okay, I'm going, and it was dark. It was dark.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't see anything.
Yeah,
so
you
then
can't
I
see
was
in the
flipping
tube.
backwards. So then I didn't know if I was moving
Oh my
or if I was
God.
stuck. Like because I felt like I was going that slow. So then I felt like I was stuck again. So I started scooting. I was like, after I got out, I said, no more tubes. I'm done with this water park. I don't see how any part of this is fun. I'm out.
I'm done. That's it.
That water
Wow.
be colder than life too.
It felt amazing because it was hot, like ridiculously hot. But I'm scared of those tubes now.
Did
Now
you
I
get
have
on extreme?
anxiety.
Something in
Did
real
you
life
get on-
always happens to you. Like in a couple
Always.
months, like you might not be able to do anything.
I'm
Right.
just saying, like
Nothing. So just don't go
and I was
nowhere.
explaining
Anything
to
adventurous is
Right,
about to
don't
leave you
go.
out.
Line, like, do you know, like years ago, I would have. You keep talking about the extreme side. Like years ago, I would have been the first person in line for the slide that goes straight down.
Oh no, that's
I
never
would
me.
have been like, let's go. I'm ready for it.
That's
but after the
my slide.
tube experience, I was like, no, it'd just be just my luck. I'm gonna fall off, fly off.
You can't go and not get on that slide.
Well, I did.
I don't like to get anything on anything that just dropped too hard. No, I feel like my whole stomach's falling out from under me.
Yeah.
It's just
After
the
I
worst.
left, I think I got some confidence. Like, ooh, I'm about to do it. But like, I'm never gonna go back to that park. So
She's done for good. That's hilarious. Wow.
There was a really big pool party that happened, and you know, I think you ever have like a controlled event, and then it's like, all right, and then once somebody does something they're not supposed to, and then it becomes an uncontrolled event. First off, it wasn't my event to begin with. You know what I'm saying? I was
Right.
hot. It was hot. The homies was like, come up.
So how did the event go that we had, that you had, right? You hosted the event.
Oh, it went well. I actually have video of it, but my phone, I didn't get a chance to send it. Did I send it to you?
no.
I think. Oh, okay. So I actually have. I videoed it. I edited it.
Yeah,
but
I need to see that before it.
don't. You were
was
a
funny.
saint, so it's not like nothing.
Oh, I
Can
know.
incriminate
But that man, let me tell y'all about what it's like going out now. Like
It's crazy.
I feel like I just haven't been out in ages because the music comes on and like all the girls like run to the wall and just start popping the
Okay.
booty. Like
Okay, now.
that was it. They got on top of each other and slapping each other. I was like,
Now, it was real funny because I didn't see that during the night, but when I
At
edited,
all? No?
I didn't see that. So I was running around the
they
whole
didn't
night.
care about their dresses coming up and you know dudes was just standing around. They was there for the show. You know, had the cameras out, and I was just like, this.
When we went through editing, I was like, "Oh wow, this really happened." You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. Now, in defense, that was not our most adult crowd. That was our crowd that didn't care for getting up.
So you're
Friday
saying that's
morning.
not normally what it's like.
No, it was for a different crowd that all got upset because it happened on a Thursday, so they couldn't make it. So I'm saying, so our next event is on a Friday, but it turned out well. It turned out well. There was about 200 people that showed up throughout the course of the night. They loved the venue, they loved the club. The people were amazing. My folks came through. You know what I'm saying? So it was what's up. Shout out to Kiana, Kiki. You know what I'm saying? I ain't seen her in a while. You know what I'm saying? So that Key 77. I couldn't figure out what it was.
Right.
Key 77. That was what's up. Again, you know, Akila came through, and she was the same. A lot of teachers actually came through. Now the professionals that did come through, they were teachers for whatever reason. But whatever. But it went well. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they can make it out. My fellow
Them
We're
to
on
school.
summer break.
right can come out.
Go figure. We didn't have
But-
to go to work today.
So somebody put a party at this was for 4th of July. They put the party on Eventbrite. So it wasn't supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? So by, I don't know, 3 o'clock, the rooftop is full of Omegas. You know what I'm saying?
One of my friends was there. I seen him in your Snapchat. I was like, whoa, from college.
That's, who knows? But it was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So my 4th was pretty entertaining. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty entertaining. And I found there's a lot of people in our building that can cook. Lord Jesus, there's a lot of people in our building that can cook. So on any given day you hungry, just go to our grill because they barbecue every day and they're so friendly.
For the community.
Just cooking for the community. And so, but other than that, man, I enjoyed it with my son. My son finally figured out what 3 feet meant to him. He's like, Dad, I'm taller than 3 feet. And so now he's jumping in the pool and he's learning how to swim.
Oh, that's
He's becoming
cool.
a little fish because he was scared to death of it before. He would not go anywhere near the water. But he had to learn how I learned, so I just pushed him in.
Wow.
Asked him if he knew how to hold
Dads do.
Asked him if he knew how to hold his breath. He said, yeah, that was all I needed to know. And we went in. You know what I'm saying? So now he's a little aquatic guy and he's at home loving Free Willy, one of our classics.
I'm glad I didn't have to learn that way.
That's the best way to learn. Just kind of jump in. Kind of how you do radio, you know what I'm saying? You didn't think you could do radio, now you just a perfect professional. You know what I'm saying? Check you out.
Well, I didn't do much. Well, we went to Vegas, but we went for the kids. So
You
we
went
didn't.
somewhere hotter than where it is
Yes. Actually, I didn't want to go. My mom didn't tell me till literally the day before, like, oh yeah, we're going to Vegas. And I was like, no, I'm not. She was like, yes, you are. I was like, okay, I am. I guess.
Don't have a choice.
Right. So went to Vegas, but we literally just chilled in the hotel, took the baby swimming, and we baked. So
Like y'all baked or
like
y'all
us,
baked?
like
Oh, okay.
us. Like literally, it was hot as hell. I could not breathe. I was like, I don't want to do anything. Nothing.
I bought a Reese's and got out the vending machine, and by the time I got upstairs, it was melted. It's bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, unfortunately, we went to Vegas. We burned up, stayed an extra day, even though I didn't want to.
Now,
just rough.
speaking of my party and ghosting, the next party is in our ghost bar. So I don't know if you guys knew, there's another bar in there that you guys didn't see that's attached to the club. So, but it's behind the secret wall. So our party,
Nope, didn't see it.
we're having another party there, and we also have a future wedding party coming up where it's a party, but it's wedding themed. So anybody who wants to come, it's wedding themed. So
Okay, I don't understand.
So, when you go to a wedding, outside of the people that are actually getting married, it's like one big party. They get to dress up, they get to be groomsmen, and the lady gets to dress up, and then they look forward to the reception. So, we're basically having the wedding reception party. So, all the men are going to be dressed up and looking like groomsmen. The women can wear whatever they want to, be dressed as bridesmaids, whatever they want to do. I'm saying they'll
They're
be
gonna be dressed like bridesmaids,
or however they, but that comes in many different fashions nowadays.
right?
You know what
So
I'm saying?
it's like, oh yeah, watch the video. I watched the video because I'm looking at Instagram. Wear the dress that you wore in the wedding that you can never wear again to anywhere else. Is
Right.
that what you're saying?
Right. Or go watch 27 Dresses. find
Except
something.
for the bridesmaids dresses for my wedding because they were cute and they can wear them.
Right.
Anyway.
So we'll have a red
All the brides
carpet.
think that.
Oh,
We'll have
by
a-
the way, oh, you can't see this, huh?
What is that?
I got the photos from my wedding, but isn't that such a great picture?
That is a cute picture. Y'all cute.
right?
looking all
Don't you
happy.
think? Don't you
Oh, check that out. It don't get no better.
Y'all can't see it.
But anybody watching Power? 'Cause I'm-
Yes.
My mom literally was glued to the TV all day today. Power.
Oh man, and I watched it.
I don't watch it.
I watched the new episode, and then I go back and watch every episode just to get me through. And ironically, it's always something that you missed before. And so,
Right.
here's the cool thing: if you watch it on Amazon, I don't know if anybody watches it on Amazon. One, you get it at 12:01 midnight. So bam, that's Saturday nights. That's cool. But the directors,
I have Amazon.
the directors and the writers, they
Prime.
after the show comes on, they tell you why and what they
Oh,
were
they
trying
do
to
that
convey.
on
Stars.
Stars. Yeah, they
Yeah.
do it. HBO too. They do it on HBO. That's what I was trying to say. The show comes on
it comes on- I
Stars,
don't think it-
but on HBO they do that where they talk about the show and the episode that you watch,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
director
yeah.
talks about and the writer, and they talk about what's going on and what's going on with the characters and all that.
And so the depth that they give you is pretty deep because a lot of people you wouldn't think past. You look at it and you just you kind of think they're kind of arbitrary, just kind of happenstance. But no, they're purposeful and they're really not only controlling the narrative, but they're controlling you, the thinker. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's funny. And usually they're pretty wrong with me, but they got me. You know what I'm saying? The last time when the last show, everybody saw the last show.
Yeah.
Everybody saw the last show.
Well, we don't know if they saw it.
All right.
How deep you trying to go?
No, it's not deep at all. Just in the opening scene, they start off with people getting apprehended, being going to be questioned. And they said from the beginning, they talk about they want to control the audience feelings and put them in peril. Like, oh my God, what's happening? So they just show everybody. But their whole point was just to get your emotions to go up so then that they can control how you come down and then get you where to go.
Yeah, my emotions didn't go up. I was just like, whatever.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool. But anyway,
But
Charles?
that show stresses me out.
I don't watch it, guys. Everybody looks at me like that when I say the same thing, but I don't watch it. So
And you don't have to.
you don't have to. I'm sure there's plenty of reasons. You have your reasons. You know what I'm
I
saying?
literally just never turned it on.
Oh, that's why. It makes sense. But
I'm sure if I did, I'd be addicted like
Right,
everyone
I
else.
was going to say, once
So I
you
was
start
like,
watching, then I think that you
I gotta
will.
wait till I can like binge watch it for a couple
Change.
episodes.
Mr. Charles, you're pretty quiet over there.
I'm just.
What'd you do for the 4th, Charles?
I'm feeling
I'm
the
sure it was
vibes.
lit somewhere.
I'm feeling the vibes. Nothing to talk about.
Well, by the way, I did watch the Can't Stop, Won't Stop. So I know I sounded like a hater, when you were talking
you
about
did?
it the first time.
You said you sound like a hater?
Because I said, I want Diddy's dollars. Diddy's dollars ain't rolling through here. Diddy's dollars ain't rolling through here. We can make that into a song, and we can make Diddy's money.
I ain't rolling through.
He said he wanted
Diddy's
a rapper
dollar
on the
ain't
beginning of
rolling
the
through
song.
here.
Hey.
Charles is not amused. He's
Rolling
not
through
taking us to evil hater. But I will say I did enjoy the documentary. As I thought, it was a documentary about Diddy. Versus about Bad Boy. So it was more so. Actually, it was more so about the reunion concert than anything, and like everything leading up to it. That was cool because I actually went to the concert. So just seeing the inner workings and how
I wish I
everything
would have
came
seen
together.
the LA one.
It was cool. Yeah, the last
at least a
stop
little
on the
cl-
show.
At least like some clips or something, but.
Yeah. You mean like in the documentary?
Well, because you had Dre come out to that one. You had Snoop and Drake on the stage. Snoop, Diddy, and Dre on the stage. Like that's pretty.
Nas.
Good. Yeah, but I'm saying like them all. Just the West Coast and East Coast all on stage.
And the fact that he ended the show in LA. You know what I mean? He started in on the East Coast and ended it on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Well, I guess because Biggie ended his life on the West Coast, huh?
Yeah, he did.
Maybe that was like the point.
I think it was some of it was healing, definitely.
Yeah.
Just seeing the people. I'm glad you saw it. First of all, shout out to you. I still
Shout out to iTunes because it was free.
Oh yeah,
Amen.
Shout out to iTunes. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all these platforms. Everybody's, I know we're gonna step into 444 pretty soon, but this is Dr. or Jay-Z's line. He said, "What's better than one billionaire? Two, especially when it comes from the same hue as you."
Right.
So at the same time, all these OGs and
What about three and
founders,
adding on me?
yeah, bars. But yeah, pretty much, you know what I'm saying? Like these people who are like these like Mount Rushmore type characters of this hip hop thing, they're just using these platforms like Jay-Z used, AT&T. What was it, AT&T? That he released entitled
Tidal, yeah.
Tidal, but I'm saying it was 18 was it
Oh,
Sprint?
for
It was
Sprint,
Sprint.
I
It was
think.
Sprint, you're right. It was Sprint. But just everybody's using different platforms
Oh,
to be able to nah.
What, you talking about
that was
Jay-Z?
old. That was old.
His
But
album.
Currently he released his album. It's in Sprint, like
okay.
like 1 million copies of the album. And used and gave it away to their subscribers.
Oh,
To
how they did with how Galaxy tried to do with that one video.
Yeah. So basically it's a progressive thing, but just to say that, also Diddy is partnered with with iTunes to make sure that his movie is being streamed and being in people's faces and constantly being screened and stuff like that. And I just think, but the reality is that it's dope. It's a good movie. It's inspiring. It's just, and, you got to realize that this is a black man that came from literally nothing.
I will say,
Gotta respect that man's
he but some of that stuff I was like, man, dude, like calm down, like seriously, like calm down.
Hey,
but
if
I
you wanna
commend
you got to take it off.
those
You
who,
don't-
because
yeah.
I probably
You can't just dip
wouldn't
your
be
toe
able to
in the
work
water.
with Diddy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
It ain't for everybody.
Right. I learned that back when I was watching
Making the brand.
making the band.
But
And do you want to work for
Diddy?
Diddy?
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, no, he's doing too much.
That
Like,
show prepared me-
extra.
That show prepared me mentally. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, I want to work for Diddy. If you watch that show, you might be prepared mentally to see like, okay, I might be having to go through some mental gymnastics right now just to get through the day.
It all depends on what you want, man. Because if it's something that you want bad enough, then it don't matter who it is and how extra that they are.
That's true. So I guess I'm looking at it like,
if you consider them a means for you to get to where you're going, then nobody can be too extra.
Hey, would you the sound engineer? Did he say, I want you to engineer my next album? Would you sleep in the studio
all night? Air mattress. You know what I'm saying? There's a bed in most of the studios I ever had. Period.
I'm just saying, for example, people like, oh, I'm going home at midnight. You'd be like, wait a second.
Clue.
Yeah, be like, wait a second.
Because at the drop of a dime that he needs something to happen, I need to be able to do that right then and there.
I guess I just ain't got that much heart.
Yeah.
But it just depends on what you want. Bad.
You know what I'm saying?
If it's something you always wanted and somebody said, like your book.
Yeah, no.
You know what, Akila haven't done in a week and it's gonna go.
We spent we spent an old.
If he told me he needed my sequel in a week.
But could I say that my old school bar? It's my old school bar from when I used to rap, and this is like 01, and I was like, I said a rapper, it was like, I had dreams of being a rap star right next to P. Diddy, but making another brand never made it to my city. It's hard times. And so that was just like my hard times.
Oh, I thought he was like still going. I was like...
Yeah, so the hard times, that was the end of it. But the hard times...
You didn't sell it like the end, so we could
that was a bro.
It was like one bar. It was
but it was like a run-on. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
the bar is over. But anyways...
I knew she was doing.
But yeah, so it was just like, so I had dreams, like, but making of the brand, they went to all these cities, but they never went to the Bay. They actually didn't go to the Bay.
Right.
And so making
Dylan.
Yeah, I was like, damn, because I would have tried out. I would have stood in that line. I was at the time actually trying to rap. So, but yeah, I would have stood in that line, but they didn't make it to the Bay. And so, all in all, fast forward, like, damn near 16 years later. They
missed out on all that talent.
Nah. Well, whatever. They got it back. Well,
I don't know. To be honest, when it comes to music and rapping, Bay is dummy rich. You know what I'm saying? Like it.
They got looked over a lot. But I wasn't the Bay Area talent, but all I'm saying is that 16 years later I put that out into the world, and then I had a dream of being connected to Diddy, right? Like that was Diddy. I saw Diddy. I like what he was doing. I see the Harlem world, that whole thing, and that connected with me. And then fast forward 16 years later, I'm connected to that camp. And it's just like, even though I'm not as a rapper, because actually I'm not a rapper, but I'm not connected in the rapper
or a dancer.
Yeah, I'm not connected in a rapper capacity, but
you're connected nonetheless, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nah, that's
what's up. As long as
up.
you're tied in the loop somehow.
That's what's up.
But if that goes back to what you're saying, if you want it, if that's something that you want it, you're gonna go out and figure out how to get to it or get as close as you can to it. You know what I'm saying?
I can dig it.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, we are talking about ghosting.
Ghost Ride the Whip. Can we hear that from Mr. Fab?
If we got it, you know what I'm saying? But you plus me is 3, but we only talking about 1 + 1. That's
Ghost Ride.
So were you gonna go to a song?
Yes.
Or Casper the Friendly Book.
Did you watch the video?
I don't know what that is. It's a remix.
1 + 1.
You don't know what this? Beyonce?
Oh, yeah, I'm not.
We're trying to keep this 1 + 1 going here.
Super Beehive.
We don't want it to be 1 + 0. I have a phone or email and things.
Oh. So you are just the most unprepared co-host person. Oh, we're back. I'm sorry.
One time. Okay, whatever.
You're tuned in to Love Sessions again. I'm your girl, Akila Trinae, and we are talking about ghosting. And I found this
Ghost Ride the Whip.
Wonderful. Well, I mean, it doesn't even have to be all that. I just found this video that I thought was cool to introduce the topic of ghosting. So we're gonna go to it.
Don't call, just disappear.
You have no control. Why are you taking pictures of me? Why are you saying I love you mad early? Like, you didn't birth me. Ghosted.
You may slowly see me fade away. So I was dating a young lady.
He actually approached me and was very forthcoming about his interest to date me.
He was like perfect, Nubian king, locks.
It was really nice. He was really cool. Everything was great, even sleeping together.
We went to like a farmer's market for our first date. I was like, he's the husband.
So I'm texting her, and it was going okay in the beginning.
And then all of a sudden,
he dropped off the face of the earth.
I never received a text back.
You just kind of stopped texting.
For months.
I even went as far as Facebook message. So
what's up?
You stop calling.
Are you on vacation?
You hope they get the message.
Sometimes my mother ghosts me. Yeah, I gave birth to you, but I'm gonna just ignore these text messages, these calls. Mom just played me.
You make up all these excuses and then finally you realize they vanished.
Like a ghost. Poof. I don't think that for most people it's anything malicious.
It's always okay to ghost on people because
If I preface any ghosting with, I'm not into you, I don't see this going that direction. I really see you as more of a friend, which is friendly ghosting.
it just means you're being honest.
Casper the friendly ghost.
Obviously, the issue lies when you can't communicate that.
Telling people certain things that they should already know is awkward. For example, if somebody's breath stinks, like Jesus Christ, you hope they don't say any H word, it's hard to tell them.
But there's definitely scenarios where you have to run.
Not everybody sees dead people. Some people do not know that they are being ghosted.
I don't want to say crazy.
Crazy.
Some crazies.
If you're crazy, you deserve to be ghosted on. He must be hurt sending out carrier pigeons.
The ghostation has not caught on.
Another reason why people ghost is because,
She's too needy.
yo, you need attention? Like you're a human? Nah, I got other things to do. I need to read a book. Ghosted.
And you're already telling me how many kids you want from me and planning a wedding?
Ghosted.
They want to go to expensive places.
I had to pay the bill.
Ghosted.
Breath?
Breath.
If you don't brush your teeth,
You better smell like black African soap.
ghosted.
Men.
I hate to say some guys are just dogs. I mean,
Men ghost in a really like petty, disrespectful way.
they just get with people, disappear. Get with the next girl, disappear.
It's like, oh, you won't play with me, bye.
Get with the next girl, disappear. That's just what they do.
And you're like, okay, kick rocks.
Definitely women,
Women.
Girls?
Women.
hands down. Women have so much option.
For girls, it's easier to find a guy.
They have so much at their feet.
They're betting on them like racehorses.
Okay, well, what this guy won't do, the next one won't do. This guy lacking this one won't do.
Oh, this guy took me to a steakhouse, but this guy got the new Jordan, you know?
Kind of like that better deal comes
So
around.
you like weigh your options.
But then again, I'm single. I don't know why I said that.
We have our own ways of ghosting.
I ghost you to make a point. Oh, you thought you was gonna play? Ghosted. Oh, now you texting me? Unghosted. Resurrected. You live again.
One of the best ways to ghost somebody is when they call you to give them one-word answers. Would you like to go out later? Maybe.
See, with ghosting, you don't always have to be actually cold. The person just can't know you have emotions.
How was your day today? Fine.
Straight face on, like,
You can start making stuff up that time of the month. It's been that time of the month for about 3-4 months.
he never call after that. Because now I'm a GG. That's double G. Ghosting G.
I don't do that anymore. I'm a reformed ghoster. These days, it's kind of hard to ghost with all the social media around.
Snapchat, Tinder, Christian Mingle.
You can get tracked down within moments.
The key to ghosting is to be quiet. If you just start unfollowing people and they know it, then you ain't ghosting. You just announcing it.
Like, I see you liking pictures on Instagram. I see you liking things on Facebook. So I know that you're not busy.
Hashtag where you at?
You got to preempt the ghostness. So before you ghost me, if I see a shadow of the ghost, I ghost you.
Ghost on you. Ghost the ghoster.
So it's a preemptive strike on the ghost station.
I have a degree. I should not have been ghosted on.
You got to flip the script.
That was ghosting. That was a little intro to it, just to give you an idea
was deep.
of, male and female perspective when it comes to ghosting. So just in case you are not still clear, or you're not clear, or you would like to be clear on what ghosting is, it's the act. Well, this is according to, I think, what's that urban place on the
Urban Dictionary?
Yeah, UrbanDictionary.com. The act of suddenly ceasing all communication with someone the subject is dating, but no longer wishes to date. This is done in hopes that the ghostee will just get the hint and leave the subject alone, as opposed to the subject simply telling he or she, that they're no longer interested. Ghosting is not specific to a certain gender and is closely related to the subject's maturity and communication skills. Many attempt to justify ghosting as a way to cease dating the ghostee without hurting their feelings, but it in fact proves the subject is thinking more of themselves, and ghosting often creates more confusion for the ghostee than if the subject kindly stated how he or she feels. Another definition of ghosting is the practice of ending a personal relationship with someone by suddenly and without explanation withdrawing from all communication. If you want to hear it used in a sentence,
it's not just,
I thought ghosting was a horrible dating habit reserved for casual flings.
But I'm saying it's not reserved. The second definition is not just about relationships. It's not just about women and men relationships, like about just relationships in general.
personal relationships.
Personal relationships.
Personal relationships.
Yeah.
So you ghost when you disappear. No word, no text, no phone call, no email, no AIM,
no AIM,
no DM, no whatever else you can do.
But all right, here goes my thing. In many things in relationships, I would just say there's levels. Like Meek Mill would say, the urban legend, Meek Mill. I don't know, just a rap legend. But anyways, Meek Mill would say, there's levels. There's levels to this ish. There's levels to this shit, right?
There's levels to ghosting.
There's levels to everything. And then I'm just saying, I don't even know. There's certain things where somebody might say you're ghosting them, but I just think that
you're busy. Is that
no. What I'm trying to say is that you're not at a level with that person where you owe them anything and an explanation. What I'm saying is, somebody might say you ghosted me. Other person might say, I just don't know you like that.
Well, what would be the reason though for you not to say? Because there's a reason why you're no longer in communication with the person. So
what I'm saying is this a one night stand? Like what I'm saying is at some point, even in that video, I felt like there was a point where women were saying like, "Oh, we hooked up, everything was good," and then he ghosted me, right? But what I'm saying is that so a woman for instance in these videos, they're like, "Hey, we hung out, we slept together. He didn't call me. He ghosted me."
Right, but that would be based upon the woman probably calling or texting and not getting a response.
Absolutely. But he's like, what I'm saying is
what is he like? He's
like saying
it was just sex, I think.
It was what it was. It was what it was. Even if there were
right, but if she doesn't know what it is, because that's what apparently
they don't. But
the miscommunication is.
What I'm saying is the prior thing is the most important thing. Like, were they friends? Were they?
How were they personal relationships, though, right?
Okay,
so somebody who you've actually talked to.
It would be harder, I think, to ghost a friend.
Well, yeah,
you know, than it would somebody that is not necessarily on that level, right, with you. But I think with this, it's talking about you meet a person, whether you are casually dating or
y'all not, that's
you have
conversations. Y'all not boyfriend and girlfriend.
But y'all talking.
It doesn't really matter. You could be, or you could not be.
It don't matter.
The fact of the matter is, you stop communicating
just
and
randomly
fall off the face of the earth. What it seems like.
And I feel like, to me, that's okay. People, there's a plethora of things. I've got ghosted before, but it's just all about the person that feels the ghosting feeling, right? They're the ones who have they had a certain expectation in their mind of this relationship.
Okay, quick question for everybody. Raise your hand if you've been ghosted.
And I've been a ghostee, just for the record.
Okay, well, let me ask the question then.
I
you know what I'm saying? You just trying to put it out there like you ain't.
I've been on both sides of the coin.
Right. Well, raise your hand if you've ghosted.
Yeah, all day.
All day. Yeah. That's Charles's thing, y'all.
No, it's not. But
it is his thing.
It's a part of the repertoire. It's a part of the.
But remember, he likes to put women on hold for like 2 hours to see if they down.
But that was the old me. That was just
okay. The old you ghosted too. I mean, the new you is married, so the new you can't ghost.
I gotta communicate.
I mean, you can ghost actually. We can't put ghosting past anybody.
Nah, I can't. But that's neither here nor there. But I couldn't ghost in 2017. That's crazy. But that's not what we're talking about. So let's not change the whole entire dynamic of the conversation. But I would say, ghosting to me, I feel like people who are on the other side that feel that experience of being ghosted had some kind of expectation. I feel like either it was sex, either it was some kind of thought that they were going to have some kind of longer or more bigger relationship, and then that particular relationship wasn't, or that particular interaction wasn't fulfilled, and that person might have. And also, I feel like the person might have had a bad experience with them. You know what I'm saying? Whether part of what they said in the video, shout out to the Essence for making that video mashed up together, but they were like, BO, you know, is one thing, bad breath, you know, and obviously there's a plethora of like just things where you know, like, this is not going to work for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you've been on dates, or you might have, like, especially online dating, you know, things like that. You might correspond with somebody back and forth, DM, number, text. Let's hook up. You go out. Next thing you know, you like, damn, you ain't as tall as you said you. I thought you was.
So, because you got
know
catfish, you could ghost.
You, you know, you ain't. You know, it's 10 o'clock. We're going to brunch, and you damn smelling like you played a.
Okay, so
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I can't.
Let's take it more from what's more realistic. Okay,
That's
two
pretty
people are in communication. They've gone out on some dates. They're talking to each other. They're spending time together. And all of a sudden, nothing. So it's not like there was some big blowout. It wasn't like they got real stanky and it was an opportunity to be smelled or something. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is,
they ghosted.
Somebody got ghosted.
Somebody felt like they got ghosted.
No,
they got ghosted, Charles.
Well, I'm just saying, they got ghosted. I'm saying somebody was left.
Is there.
Somebody was left with the ghost feeling.
Well, according to the HuffingtonPost.com, the psychology of ghosting, why people do it, and a better way to break up. One of the psychological reasons why people ghost is because of avoidance, and it stems from fear of conflict. So you don't want to be in a situation where you have to confront or deal with the conflict of whatever the situation may be. So you mentioned body odor, stank breath, or whatever. So wouldn't it do another person a great service to be like, you know what? I got to be honest with you. This was my experience.
Your breath smell like ass and cuss words, and I just can't deal with that.
And you don't have to necessarily say it like that, but you say this to them like, I'm just not interested. I know you could easily, maybe you could easily or maybe not easily fix the problem, but I'm just not interested. But I just wanted to let you know that I'm not interested. Well, most people aren't really going to do that because most people don't want to have that conversation because it's uncomfortable.
I stink. You stink.
Well, you do.
Well, no, but to point out somebody's shortcoming like that, I just feel like that's one of the things.
Well,
like,
to me, BO, just to let you know, in the dating game, BO, body odor, should I say, is a chemical thing, right? So somebody, say for instance, like all of us have our own natural fragrance, right?
Right.
And so
Pheromones.
So our natural pheromones, when we are.
But those are the things that actually attract people. So that's what I'm saying. Not the perfume and the cologne. It's the natural.
So that's what I'm saying. If I smell somebody and their natural pheromones, right, we don't, and it doesn't smell good to me, then naturally
But it doesn't necessarily mean like when you stink.
We're not gonna have. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that they stink. But to me, it's not an attractive.
Because
smell.
nobody's stink is attractive.
But no,
I don't think my stink is attractive.
No, but I would say to your husband, you in your natural odor, even if you
I like his natural odor, but not when he stinks.
Different.
Obviously, we're splitting hairs right now, so let's kind of keep going down the road. All right, so his natural hair pheromones aren't offensive to you, right? So
when he stinks, I am offended.
All right, so we're splitting hairs again. So
no, I thought that's what you were asking me.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about his natural pheromones. Once again. All right, so he has a natural pheromone. So naturally, if he jumped out the shower, say he did like 15 push-ups, boom, 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 he's gonna have a natural odor, right?
Right.
You will too. Yeah. Okay, so if that odor is offensive to you, when you smell it, you're like, damn, hop back in the shower, right? But if it's like, okay, all right, I see, this smells like passion.
Well, just out of
what are we talking about again?
Then that's going to y'all got good chemistry. I'm trying to get back Detroit ringing around. So chemistry is the key point. If you got chemistry with a person, their natural pheromones aren't going to be offensive to you. But if you don't have good chemistry with that person, it's a biological thing.
How you gonna know if you ghost him?
Well, the ghosting comes
maybe that was a bad day.
Well, what I'm saying, you don't have a bad day with your natural pheromones. That's what you have naturally. But I'm saying
that's a little intimate, don't you think?
That's deep.
No, I mean,
Because, I
We're
mean,
saying,
what if
like,
we did? What if we
okay.
went to Starbucks after you went to the gym? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And you're just like, oh, meet me at. Oh, I'm right downstairs.
but you've been sweating and stuff.
Okay,
Yeah,
why don't we do it to where, though, it's literally people who have known each other for at least enough time for them, like she
Have you
said,
been
to go
ghosted?
on a couple dates, and they've
Have you
had
had sex?
conversation. What?
Have you had sex with this person?
No,
Doesn't matter.
You could have, or you could have not. It doesn't matter. But
Okay,
either
we'll put
way,
it this way.
you had a sense of
You've
things
had
were
a
going
conversation even after, if there were anything
Thank you,
sexual,
like,
you've had a conversation.
It's been a month or two, and all of a sudden, this person just disappear. You think things are going good. You think, okay, they might be starting to feel me like I'm starting to feel them, and they just go away.
Okay, so I'll give you my interpretation of it, or what I think it is. All right, so I think there's two things. I think one is most common, and I'll give the first one that I think is probably the least common in my opinion. So, from what I know, how I interpret the video is that one, ghosting is an infraction of a circumstance that happens with someone that they don't like. Case in point, if I'm talking to her, right, I do something, as Charles' point, we're chemically, we cool, we kid off, whatever. And then I do something or say something that rubs her wrong that she doesn't like. We talk about the bad breath, whatever, or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? As the guy said, maybe I spoke about kids too soon.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
I've
saying?
had that happen before.
So now I've said something that's an infraction that she doesn't like. That, you know what? I'm cool on that. You know what I'm saying? And it's not something that has nothing to do with me personally,
Right.
but my perspective in life and how I think logically. You know what? I don't think I want to do it. If she processes it, this happens this soon, I can only imagine what tomorrow's going to be. You know what I'm saying? Today is kids, tomorrow's wedding bells, 3 days from now it's retirement together, buzz it. You know what? I don't want to deal with that. I'm going to back off. The other one that I think is actually more common is that there's a misinterpretation connected to an assumption of an incident that happens. Case in point, I knew a woman and we were good, right? I was told by a friend that she needed to get out, that she was going through some things. So I asked to take her out. She said, nah, I wasn't feeling too well. Well, her friend told me she was going to say that. She said, it just depends on the place. All right, nah. So I offer a different location, a different spot. No, I'm good. I don't feel too well. All right. So 3 months go by. I don't talk to the girl. After the second time that I hit her up, I kind of got the picture. I wasn't tripping or whatever. So then I was talking to another friend. She actually walks in. She's like, oh, you know him? Like, yeah, I think he's really cool. Yeah, cool, whatever. So then she pulls me to the side like, hey, I know her. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool, blah, 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 blah. Well, it's kind of my friend. I'm like, well, me and you fell out, so, I didn't really. She was like, but do you know why? I'm like, no. She was like, well, I thought you were too pushy, and I thought, you were moving too fast. I was like, well, I didn't even really like you like that. I was trying to be your friend, but I was told you were going through something, so I was trying to. She was like, yeah, but I told you I didn't feel like going out, and you kept pushing. I'm like, well, your friend told me you would say that, so I thought a change of scenery, because of whatever you was going through. Oh, I didn't really know. I thought it was this, and I thought it was that. No, well, had you just told me, then we would have been fine. So there was an assumption that, that I felt something because of how I was going. You know what I'm saying? And
she thought she was on her way hard.
Right, and it was not the case. But
well, I feel like even in that situation that it's a little different. Like I feel like ghosting is you've been in constant communication.
Well, I was in constant communication with this woman. We talked for hours. You know what I'm saying? We would talk for hours. When we first met, we talked for hours. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't that it was a shallow incident. It was just expressed that way. But even in other scenarios where you see people ghost, and usually here's what happens when people ghost. If they ever reconnect and they actually have a conversation, it goes like, oh dang, it wasn't what I really thought it was, and I thought it was more. Is usually tied to an assumption or a misinterpretation based on an incident that happened. And it's like, well, dang, had you really told me, we'd have been fine. And it's not so much about the conflict of it, like in that scenario, because that's different. Not so much about the conflict of it, but it's more so about the assumption that this is what you are and are likely to be, and I don't want to deal with that.
But that's avoidance, is what, and basically what ghosting is.
Okay, but I'm saying, avoidance is the consequence. I'm talking about the why, the reason, the symptom. You know what I'm saying? The treatment is ghosting. You know what I'm saying? But the part that leads up to that is more so about, is not the avoidance is what happens. The reason why you end up getting avoided has to do with an interpretation of who I think you are. That's wrong for me. You know what I'm saying? So if you're talking about kids on the first date, I'm projecting what you are, or at least bare minimum what you're not, which is not patient, which is not cool, which is not subtle. You're going for like I can't deal with that. You know what I'm saying?
Can I say that too? Because I had a real nice first date, and the girl, and honestly, this is when I was dating, but she was borderline already. Like, say we're just going out, kind of casually, whatever. We know each other. We like work together, whatever. And I know it was innocent with the question, but it was like, how many kids do you want to have, or something like that, or do you plan on having kids? And I felt like I didn't want to hear that question from her right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, it kind of put me in a situation where I felt like, you know what, we're already at this, we're only at this level, and you're trying to be asking about this level, and I just rather us not even go down that road, because it just got the dynamic. And maybe she didn't realize how that innocent question how it could have been presented to me, because she probably would have never even said it. But it was just like, to me, I just like, okay, this is not where I'm not trying to go down that road. But I would say that also the something I would like to chime in on is the Casper, the friendly ghost, which I know all about, because I've definitely been down that friendship owl, where you're like, oh, we're just, where you end up, oh, we're doing this thing, oh, we're hanging out, oh, we're texting, we're doing whatever, and the next thing you know, friends, and you're like, oh, that's my homie, oh, we're friends, oh, we're just friends, and now it's like, yeah, I can't believe this, you're like you're hearing about other dudes, and like, I can't believe this guy did this to me, he's such a jerk, and you're like, wait a second, what am I, the friend, the homie now? I thought you were friend zoned. Yeah, friend zoned, but that's what I'm saying. I'm comparing it to as Casper in the ghosting scenario. Is Casper? So friend zoned is just as bad as ghosting. It's Casper the friendly ghost. It's Casper the friendly ghost. That's what they said in the thing. It's like you're basically called Casper the friendly ghost. So you're being ghosted, but it's a friendly ghost. So y'all still cool.
They didn't want to cut you off.
Yeah, y'all cool. Yeah, y'all cool and all that, but it's like y'all ain't cool like that. Like
we was hanging out, chilling, going on dates. It looked like it was going somewhere, and now we just friends.
Yeah, I'm paying for dinner.
It says that relationship research shows that ghosting, aka avoidance, is the worst way to end a relationship, according to the recipient, and can actually lead to bigger confrontations down the line. While ghosting seems to have become pervasive over the last decade, and many people point to more online dating apps and fading decorum around courting and causing, ghosting is nothing new. Of course, we know, because I didn't know that there was a term for it. But then, once I learned what the term was, I was like, oh. And what's funny is I've had conversations with people where it's like, well, I don't know, maybe he's busy, or maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe he's, working or whatever, right? And the one that will show.
To me, they sound a little thirsty. If you
if you're in communication with a person and all of a sudden,
I see you liking pictures. Oh, I see you on Instagram. I'm like,
because I think that's rude. If you're gonna ghost, you better die.
Yeah. No, but it's true. You make room for what you want. We just talked about the Diddy situation. You would do anything to go for that. I would do anything to go for that. You know what I'm saying? But then, let's say it wasn't Diddy. You know what I'm saying? And it was, I don't know, just a homie.
It was Bookie and Ray Ray.
And he wanted me to sleep in the studio. Now, I'm going to get to it when I get to it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how relationships are. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that you're talking to at one moment, then all of a sudden they're making all the time in the world for you. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, for unexplained reasons, you know what I'm saying?
They got back with their ex.
They have no time.
That's probably the number one reason.
But it's...
Or they made a decision on the multiple women that they were dating, and
but the point is becoming busy all of a sudden.
That's happened to me before.
It isn't valid or applicable in reality, because just yesterday, you had time. Or if I said I wanted to do this, you would have time.
It's just finding reasons to, soften your own heart or the situation. Like, nah, because he wouldn't do that. I mean, like, I goes to the person, like, as I reflect, like, because what happened was
so dramatic.
I didn't know how old he was. And so as I started,
Old, young?
No, he was older than me. And I didn't know how old he was. And so, like, the conversation stuff, I was like analyzing, I was thinking about, I was like, okay, wait, he might be like 10, 15, maybe 20. I don't know. Black don't crack, so it's hard to really tell. And then I started getting nervous and like, if we were to get together and he already 50, then, you know what I mean? Like, this is a bad situation. Right. And so...
Which is a prime example of just what happened. You know what I'm saying? And so
I ran.
That's what often happens.
And I mean, like, he was cool and good conversation.
So, all right. So now I'm understanding. So ghosting to me is a situation where somebody feel like you're in a situation where you technically should owe that person some kind of explanation.
I mean, something. If you took them to that point.
But to me, I'm like, what is that?
Well, I didn't want to tell him, like, I thought he was old and, like, that was kind of weird.
Well, it's just a bond.
So I avoided it.
What I'm saying is that you have a connection, you have a bond with that person to the point where, look, Detroit, we have
Did you say a bond or a bond?
A bond.
Like, if I feel like a dude took me on a couple dates and I feel like he kind of likes me, we text, we talk on the phone, and then all of a sudden, I never get a call again. I never get a text again. I'm gonna be like, "What happened?"
I take that personal.
Yeah, and you have,
amazing.
And you have to.
How can you not call me?
Even if you tell somebody the truth and leave, there's growth on both ends. You know what I'm saying? Either way, you know what I'm saying. But when you leave like that,
but you're guaranteed to see the person again, or
regardless,
have some kind of
situation. Whether you do or don't. There's a chasm there in you because you want to know if you're the person who got ghosted. You want to know what happened. You know what I'm saying? And you can't get over that.
I've been ghosted a million times, and I was always like willing to take it because
you don't have a choice. What else
at the time, I was always like it's like a law of averages at this point. When you're a dude, you a single dude, and you send out 10 text messages. Hey, whatever.
You did that?
I never did that.
Sometimes. Whatever you do, you don't do a lot of things.
Right?
No. Okay, are you saying like 10? Are you saying like you send the same 10 text messages to everybody?
No, you modify it because we know you got to be different.
Yeah, DM.
Well, I'm just saying everybody is their own individual. You know
I understand that.
I might send out 10 text messages.
The point is that you're texting multiple people at the same time.
Okay, I thought you meant like you sent one text message to 10 people.
No.
Okay.
I didn't even have that technology at the time.
My bad.
It's a whole new.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. My bad.
So anyways, all I'm saying is that I always felt like I had, like, if I met somebody and they don't necessarily, how well do they know me? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of women get approached by a lot of men, right? Especially beautiful women, right? So at the same time, unless this woman that I've seen at the mall got her number or whatever, I'm just a random dude in her phone for the most part.
You're really living off of the hopes that they don't know each other like that. But we have to right now.
But we're not. Yeah,
we know each other.
We're not. Yeah, we're not talking about a vanity situation.
We even follow each other on social media.
Right. Like we're in a sense in this culture, we're talking. In a sense, we're getting to know each other, and then all of a sudden you just bye.
But at the same time, Charles, I don't know how many people. What I'm saying is if you get ghosted, it's a very good chance that you weren't the only person that person was talking to.
Okay, that's not the point. Okay, the point is there's a bond created. You know what I'm saying? Let's say I'm working on 7 different radio shows, right? And I just leave and I never come back.
And you never text us.
I never said nothing. You know what I'm saying?
We got ghosted.
You know what I'm saying? You would be like, and I approached you and you'd be like, man, what happened to you? And I'd be like, I don't know, no explanation. That's weird. You know what I'm saying? Like that makes no sense.
That would be weird.
You know
that would be weird. All right,
but back to his point.
Okay, and I agree. That's a very great example. But I would say, how does that? I think people just handle relationships. Some people just if you're not rocking with that person, you can't make somebody rock with you. That's all I'm saying.
First of all,
it's a passive-aggressive way of doing something.
As an adult, we should, and I say should because like I said, I ghosted in my adult life, but I just think that we should confront certain things. And the reason why we don't, because there are people who have no problem at all, making it very clear, like, this is what the situation is. I'm not interested, or this is not what I want. You know what I mean? And no problem. But then there are other people who do have an issue with it. Like, they won't say anything. They won't give that. And I just think it's a common courtesy to just be like, nah, I'm good. I'm not interested.
And I also think it's a lack
of... Or
then you're going to have to go with what's the reason. What's the reason?
But
in this
now
article,
now you don't have to go into all of that. It's just like, for example, I got a good example, right?
Go ahead.
Let's say you start working on a job, right? And then all of a sudden, you're like, I don't like this job anymore, and you just stop going. You know what I mean? And you don't tell the job anything. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things, like, out of common courtesy, you let the job know, like, guess what? You don't have to explain to the person where you're going and why you're doing it and all of that. Like, look, I'm not working here. Now, the deeper the relationship you have with the person, the more you may disclose and go into those further things. But
maybe
outside
your boy
of that,
gave you like a hookup or something.
You know what I mean? Like you might go into that, but
mind you, you're not leaving a job until you get another job. So you probably
that's not true.
So you probably
that's not true, and it's still irrelevant. You know
for the most part, you probably got a call. I'm saying the job is your ex saying, "Hey, I'm back in town. I moved back to LA." And then you like
to the ex that ghosted you, and you still feeling some type of way.
And
so
you like, all right, I'm gonna just get rid of all these random boos that I've been.
But we know at the end of the day you can get ghosted for 1,000 or a myriad of reasons. But the point is why do we as people still continue to do it? You know what I'm saying? And it's really just a lack. To me, it's a lack of understanding of what being an adult is. But we don't really
talk anymore anyway. So like the culture has cultivated in a way ghosting. You know what I mean? Like if you think about it,
you can block people on your iPhone.
You can block calls, you can block people on your pages, you can ghost follow them, and they don't know that
you can mute people on Twitter,
right? And that's why
you can mute people.
I don't follow people on social media.
So the thing is, you don't have to unfollow. Just a Twitter thing, but if you don't have to unfollow somebody, you could literally mute their tweets. You won't see their tweets, and they won't see you won't see their interactions, but you won't have to unfollow them, because then when you unfollow somebody, they know that you unfollow.
Or the worst thing on the iPhone, like if you're texting somebody and they have an iPhone, and you know that they read it.
I just got into an argument with the other day.
Call? All right. Well, we have a caller.
Caller, give us your name and tell us where you're calling from.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I thought this was the Love Sessions show. Is that not live right now?
It is. You're on Love Sessions.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm watching it late then.
Oh,
Hi.
It's a delayed,
Yeah, it's all good. Hey, man, you on time.
You ain't got to do it like
But you got a question, though? You on? We talking about ghosting.
Oh, wait. Okay, now. Great. This is Cameron.
I was going to say, it sounds like
what's
Cameron.
Up, man? What's up, Willie? Are you still in Frisco?
Nah, I'm in my bed in Carson.
Oh, okay. What's going on?
Oh, no, shit, just chilling, man. But I wanted to chime in, on the situation. I think it was a key relationship. This is about communication. Like, niggas don't communicate no more. So what people are doing now is just avoiding all types of communication, and especially within relationships, like with social media and all of that, it drags into relationships, and it's just like, fuck it, like, I don't want to deal with you. Have some people blocking people on social media, you know what I'm saying? And it's
have you ever ghosted somebody?
Have I ghosted somebody?
Yeah.
No, I'm not that type of nigga. I keep it 100 with you. Or
what, Cam? You ghosted me.
No,
what?
He was gonna say what?
Okay, exclusive.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, she about to say, nah, nigga, you ghosted him.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we're gonna keep it real. Who ghosted who? Y'all want to keep it real?
Who ghosted who?
It's not keep it real.
We'll save that for another show.
We ain't doing another ghosting episode. Just so y'all know, y'all better get it out now. All right, Arna, it's all good.
I don't. Now that I'm thinking about it, no, I don't think I've ever ghosted somebody. I know I've been ghosted a few times, but that's just because of You know,
women be ghosting.
Yeah, women ghost.
Men be
Well,
ghosting
first off,
But I think-
men
I
and
think-
women do it equally.
No, well, it depends. It's certain men and women ghost because it's like somebody that's not being sought after. You know, not ghosting nobody. Let's just be real. So, I think what it is that people, you know, you get into relationships or you get into situations where people don't really know how to get out of you.
Yeah.
And the communication has probably never really wasn't there to begin with. But, you know, we as humans, we are enticed by things and we overlook red flags, or we just overlook things, period. And so with that, we continue and then we dig ourselves deeper into situations where, okay, well, now how am I going to get myself out of it? Some people don't know how to pull themselves out or know how to talk themselves out, and so therefore they feel like I'll just, you know, get ghost, you know. But they don't realize that that's not enough situation to making it work.
Right.
Like, because you never know who you're dealing with on the other end. Because, you know, people, I'm not going to say that people are crazy in the range, but yeah, some people are crazy in the range. Like, you never know what people are dealing with in their head. And you could be that trigger that sets them off. And I think that there's a lot of people that have died like that or been hurt or, you know.
Especially for young people, I mean, like teenagers, because when they get ghosted, they
It's the end of the
take
world.
it real hard.
It's her.
Yeah, you got to be careful. They might go and jump off the 105.
Just happened to my friend. She cried. She grown.
It's okay to cry. Your feelings might be hurt, but to move on, you know what I'm saying? But I do think it's some important that he said about not knowing how to get over it. I think some people, even they figure in through talking, if they want to get out, they don't want to talk because they don't want to be reconvinced, or, you know what I'm saying, they don't want it to be prolonged. You know, if somebody really wants out of something, they say, you know what, like, I know that for me, this is the finale, or this is over. But if I tell them, then they either going to talk me out of it or guilt trip me into staying longer, or they just want to understand, like, I know where they are and that's not where I am. Then they just sever all communication. And in that aspect, it might be the most healthiest way to do something. But I still think you should still have that conversation. But I do think that's also a big part of the situation is, even if I talk to somebody, they won't comprehend what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? If you're dating somebody with a small mind and you're trying to get to a bigger picture, you know what I'm saying, there's no way to get them in that same chasm as you. You know what I'm saying? So, as usual, Cameron Dave, you are deeper than deep. You carry the depth. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. So tell me real quick before you go, who you think?
He said who?
Who do you think percentage wise ghosts more?
I think women ghost way more than way more than men.
I feel you, brother.
It's a numbers game because you guys outnumber us.
It is.
Well,
and
let
it's
me just tell you what these numbers say. Where did them numbers
we going
go?
off of camera.
It says the survey shows that
You got the final word on
26% of women and 33% of men have both ghosted and been ghosted.
So y'all higher if y'all missed it.
Really?
That's because when they did the poll, the women were ghosts and they couldn't find them. They get the truth.
No, but the women are the ones who keep it real, because it says while 24% of women and 17% of men admit to ghosting, but not being ghosted on.
Yeah.
Explain it.
Yeah, I'm into both. I think.
Men are just
But
dishonest.
I think both are necessary to have. in
Don't
your
even say nothing. Drink your water.
What? Just slid that one in.
I mean, sometimes the ghost is a good situation.
It is.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's best for both
and
parties.
And sometimes that are, you know, if you can recognize the silver lining in it, then cool. And, you know, it's an easy break, and ghosting isn't so bad. But it's those situations where the heart is involved, where, as Victoria said, like, a bond is built. Like, I think sometimes things are entitled after you cross those thresholds. You know what I'm saying? Some things are entitled. You can't, like, not communicate with a nigga or a person who you spend time with, who share secrets with, who, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
people that you've invested in, people that definitely invest the time in interviewing. Like that, it doesn't feel the same when someone exchange interview like that.
Yeah, it's not like if you meet somebody at a club and y'all exchange numbers and y'all exchange a few text messages
not
and never
ghosting.
went out and then you don't text no more. That's not ghosting.
Yeah, that's not ghosting. They just didn't pick up the player option. You know what I'm saying? Like they, you know what? I don't want to mess with you. I'm not picking up your player option. You know what I'm saying? But that's what's up, Katie, CD.
What?
CD. Cameron, how the ties going, man?
It's slow motion, but we all get it.
Hey, motion is motion. It's being progressive. But good luck, man.
Everything.
Thanks for calling in, though.
Not a problem. You guys looking good.
Thank you, man. Or you talking about Akila? Interesting.
Thank you.
All right.
You guys is what he said.
No, my bad. But
slow motion is better than no motion, right?
All day. So, but I mean,
is he? You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh.
But yeah, I'll hang up.
No, it sounded like you were gone for a second.
Hung
I know
up.
you went low. And then, I was like, what? Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling in.
But so Akila brought up something about dishonesty. Akila brought up something about dishonesty, and I think a lot of times that plays into ghosting as well. So if you're dealing with a dishonest person and you just feel like you're not gonna get the truth out of them, then it's like, what's the point of having this conversation? You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna bounce. Even if you owe them the conversation, you can't really give it to them because it's not like it's gonna be an honest conversation.
And honestly, when it comes to a personal friendship thing, when they say relationships, I've definitely ghosted on friends. You know, as you grow and mature and have to evolve, and you know, having a family, it's like certain people, my lifestyle isn't conducive to their lifestyle, and it's hard for me to just be like, oh well, hey, not hard, but people don't.
You know, they won't understand.
Yeah, they like, you ain't gonna get it. Like I've been invited to stuff. I'll be like, oh, is it kid friendly? I go there, people smoking, drinking, twerking, everything. And I'm like, how the hell is this kid friendly? Because you ain't got no kids. That's why. And you don't.
They said, oh, wow.
Yeah, well, people be like, you know, people have birthday parties. And as you can see.
You got to be careful where you go because some people have kids and still be.
Well,
be like,
absolutely. But
the birthday party turned into an adult party.
Yeah, the kids' birthdays turn into an adult party. Just like how you were talking about your pool party. The wrong people send out the invite. Next thing you know, it's all off the hook. So I'm saying it's like when you got to me having kids and being married, it took me to a different lane. And so a lot of friends, they get this whole feeling of like, why don't you hit me up? Oh, I saw you at this. I'm like, I'm focused on getting my wife and kids to this situation, and now I'm not focused on texting people, hey, come through, it's lit. It's not lit, it's chill. We're chilling with our family. You know what I'm saying?
You think differently. That's just the way it goes, and we could take that into many different lanes. Speaking of different lanes, we about to ghost ride the whip in a different lane. Pull this cue, what's up? Yeah.
I want to do it. Sorry. I had to do it for the Bay.
I gotta go blue.
Now watch them swing, watch them swing. Now watch them swing, watch them swing. Go stupid, go stupid.
I didn't have dreads then though, you know.
You didn't when you were in Oakland.
And I have sister locks now. So.
Charles just knows everyone.
He's just right, like
you were in an
he's trying to
Oakland.
take
Tell
somebody.
me
How you
that
gonna
my
tell me
Rastafari is
where
fake.
I was?
It's
You know what I'm saying? Like
I know where you was.
How?
Because you was coming to my dance battles, and that's the song that we was playing at the dance battles.
But
out here in LA when it came
I
out.
also went home to Oakland every
After the song
summer
came out.
To get that experience.
Yeah.
No, just to be at home, and it just so happens that I could also go dumb at the same time.
But like I said in the beginning, you were in LA.
Anyway,
during the hyphy movement.
There's this funny video. Sorry, I spit a little bit. There's this funny video that I found.
That I watched.
Girl Code versus Guy Code that showed an example of what we're talking about when it comes to ghosting. So check this out, and then we're going to continue the conversation.
Does that still come on?
I don't know,
but it was hilarious.
They were the happiest of couples for 2 weeks. And then, tragedy struck. He vanished. How was it possible? The perfect relationship ending in a disappearance. June 14th, 2016. 7:38 p.m.
Thank you.
This security footage from the night of the disappearance has everyone asking questions.
Duval and I have been talking for a few weeks, and everything was going great. Then he was just gone. No texts, no calls, not even a DM. It was like he just vanished.
Was it an accident or intentional? Detective Gabris, investigator.
Oftentimes, when someone disappears without a trace, some of the most critical information could be found in their communication patterns. Now, you'll see here on Lolo's phone. Early on, Lil Duval is responding within minutes. But as time goes on, he stops responding altogether. We got a little saying for this down at the station. Too much blue. The guy probably flew.
My friends told me I shouldn't be worried, but I know Lil Duval. Something bad must have happened.
Questions quickly swirled.
People don't just vanish. That doesn't make any sense. Where could he possibly be?
What? Nothing happened. He ghosted. He was in her life. Now he's not. Look, I'd tell her, but guy code.
There's no way he would stop liking my friend.
Duval always does like this. I don't know why y'all surprised.
To this day, Lolo has had no contact with Duval.
He's calling me right now. Yo, Duval, what up, kid? Yeah, I'm doing an interview right now, man. This girl think you dead. Yeah, she put your picture up on Instagram and put hashtag RIP Lil Duval and everything. You're not trending, though.
What started at a cookie store tragically crumbled.
This is where he took me for our first date. He said I was sweet, so I deserved something sweet.
So what was he like?
He was such a good guy. I just hope he's okay.
With no explanation, this relationship ends, proving that even the hottest women may find themselves victims of ghosting.
That video was too cool.
So
God
there it
can always
is.
put something
Very
in perspective.
good.
Right?
Very great.
I mean, they said that ghosting really creates like psychological issues for people. Like
It does.
It
Like
can.
ruins
sometimes,
your
like
self-esteem. It's a lot of things. Health professionals have
Something else we need
Look.
to include in this convo.
please
is
enlighten us,
is
Miss
FOMO.
Sugarfoot.
FOMO.
Fear of missing out.
FOMO is a part of ghosting because people feel ghosted when they're not ghosted. That's all I'm saying. What I'm just saying is FOMO. Now
For example,
you see people on, like if we're all homies and we see once again we're using Detroit as an example. He out here in Beverly Hills with 2 bottles of champagne, like doing.
You could have used yourself as an example.
Well, I'm not that guy. I like to invite you guys and stuff. No, I'm just,
You
but
were definitely
we
invited
have
to the-
yet
to
to be
see you.
invited to all the good stuff.
Right.
Everybody just forget what I said.
Right.
But look,
Right.
but
erase it. Let's go back.
We're using Detroit as an example in this scenario.
I like reality better.
Yeah, so look, so we're using Detroit and saying where you get the FOMO where you're like, dang, dog, how come you didn't invite us? You feel left out because of social media, seeing that this guy is a part of our group. This person, should I say, is a part of what we're doing, or he's a part of my life, and we're a part of his life, and he's doing something that you would enjoy, or if you were a part of it. So it's just like scrolling down somebody's Instagram that you feel like ghosted you, and you see them with a picture with another person.
But I don't think you would feel. I think you know when you're ghosted. I mean, like I don't think
you
it's
definitely know.
imaginary.
You have like
After
an
a day or
epiphany.
Like,
Yes.
you know
So
what
what
I
if
mean?
they're,
Like
so they're on Instagram,
epiphany.
they're on Instagram, and then you text them, and then you see them, like another picture or like a picture. They don't respond to your
It's
text.
just like, bro, I would have
they
seen
don't
if you
respond
died,
to
okay?
text. They don't call. They don't.
In football, we have this term that happens when you're on offense and you throw a pick or the turnover. It's called sudden change, and we yell it down the sideline so that if you're on defense or you're on offense, you know sudden change is. So if you're on the sideline, that means you in the game. You know what I'm saying? Sudden change. Well, ghosting, you understand that there's a sudden change in the pattern that's happened. You know what I'm saying? Like he said.
And like this says, it gives you no cue for how to react.
Right.
So you don't know, really, you don't know what to do. Like,
and
it's like, should you be worried? Are you hurt lying in the hospital?
You ever heard of a fallback game? You ever heard of that term?
It doesn't matter how you want to call it. This is semantics.
You don't know how. Look, psychology today says you don't know how to react because you really don't know what happened.
You don't know what happened.
So if I literally know nothing.
I have a personal experience, so I can tell you that. Look, my worst ghost ever, or being ghost, where somebody left.
She was a ghost?
She disappeared.
Okay.
Had a friend, right?
Friendly ghost?
We were just friends from the beginning. I'd always had a crush on her, but she let me know that we were just friends. I was cool with that. We was fine, or whatever. One day, I get invited to prom. Like, oh, okay, but I thought you really liked X, Y, and Z. Nah, I think I'd rather take you. Cool. I don't make it to the prom. We never end up going. She ends up going with somebody else. Whatever. I get a call that night.
When did you find out she was going with somebody else?
Hold on. That didn't really matter. That's
that was an important part.
She told me about a week or two in advance or whatever.
So she didn't ghost?
Let her finish the story.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that.
So then, right, as friends, we talk all the time, every day. It's not an issue, whatever. So her going with somebody else is not a problem with me. Well, that prom night, she calls me and says, hey, come, I'm in the room, come, whatever. We go to the room, we have sex, right? I'm like, oh, that's what's up.
So it's a friendly ghost.
Yeah, I didn't hear from that woman again after we had sex.
She hit it and quit it.
We for another 2 years. Like it was over, but for that first 6 months, you know what goes through your mind? Like, first off, the worst thing that goes through my mind was it that bad? Like, Jesus, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I just couldn't figure it out. I'm like, dang,
that's a possible scenario.
Like, we were friends. Like, you couldn't even, like, come back like, Jesus, like, I have really got.
But I'm saying, you don't want to explain.
Who wants to have that conversation?
Well, yeah,
right,
exactly.
But right. So,
do you want to explain?
You
want to be like,
but that's what I'm thinking.
This was the worst night of my life.
But it had nothing to do with that. So when I talked to her, she was
How
like,
do you know?
Well, I talked to her later. You know what I'm saying? And
she's
2
not
years
going
later,
to tell you the truth about that.
Maybe she won't. Maybe she won't.
If it was, I'll be honest with you, brother. Though, if it was like the night of her life, she wouldn't have disappeared for 6 months.
Hold on. So I talked to her a few months later.
Also,
I don't have that type of ego, so it don't even really bother me.
So what happened?
I'm saying, if you gave her the most amazing night of her life, is she gonna?
Well, he
disappear
didn't say
for
it was
6
the
months?
most amazing.
I know, but I'm saying you said
sips tea.
You said it was. You said it wasn't that bad, and she told you it wasn't that bad. But
no, that's not what I said. Listen,
I missed that part.
Listen, I said that's what I wondered to myself.
Yeah.
Was it
and
that
you
bad?
Can't eliminate that from the scenario.
Okay,
that's
Charles,
not
you're
the
trying
point.
to point out that he possibly had bad deeds. Jesus! Now we can move on to what happened.
So
let's not jump to conclusions.
Let's not jump the story.
Okay, but that's just the point. When you ghost someone, the person that's been ghosted has many conclusions and assumptions to go through.
Right.
And as you know, when you're mentally in your head, you go everywhere. You choose the worst scenarios possible, and it damages you or can damage you psychologically without
Well, it's
closure.
good to know that
So what did
men
she say
actually
what did
go
she say
through
2
that
years
same
later?
process as women as well.
Well, she told me too. She said it wasn't really about. She was like, She said I had 2 people in mind to take my virginity, and you were the last one. And the first one never worked out. He turned out to be such an asshole. Like, it just couldn't. So I ended up coming over after he ruined the night initially, and she really wanted to do it.
She had her priorities mixed up anyway.
She said I had options.
Well,
so,
she was in high school. Just give her
whatever.
a
So it happened. She was like, I thought you were sweet or whatever. She was like, but I knew. She was like, I knew I didn't like you like that, and I didn't know how to convey that. Plus, I was going off to school anyway. She was like, so I needed my night to happen, and I knew I wouldn't hate you. You know, I ended
She
up
sound like Deborah in my book, Beyond the Hurt.
Okay, so
plug.
Shameless, but
supposed to go
but greatly done though. You know what I'm saying? So it happens, but in that time, and I told her, well, I'm glad I know now, but I was really upset at you, and I cussed at her. F you, you know what I'm saying? Because you could have told me, you could have said something at least a little.
PG way you could have gave it to us. I love it.
You sound like
okay.
You sound like Rob Kardashian. You sound like Rob Kardashian.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, you could have told me something a little sooner than this. You could have sent me a text, an email, something while you away at school. Is cool. I get it. You know, 'cause I'm friends with your mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have said something. You know what I'm saying? But people have their reasons why. And for them, it carries validity. But for us, It doesn't, because we have no way of knowing, and it can ruin you. And the worst thing you can do is if this happens to men, it also shapes us. You know what I'm saying? It shapes, especially if there's no closure. You know what I'm saying? Because now we don't get over stuff. It's stuff that happened to me at 5.
Men
Y'all don't get over stuff?
Huh?
Y'all don't get over stuff?
Because men don't like to give
no.
closure.
Hell no.
Yeah. You can't hear what you don't reveal. That's a Jay-Z line, 444. I know we're not going to talk about it today, it seemed like.
Are we going to sponsor it? I mean, is that what you want to do? Because you seem itching to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I feel like we ghosting the album to you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you're taking it some type of way.
What we was talking
you guys are revealing our.
But I was just saying you can't. It's a dope line, and I just put that bar in there. But you can't hear what you don't reveal. Also, you can't. A man can't be rich if you don't take care of his family.
Okay, let me see. When I got ghosted, the guy literally. So we were texting every day for probably about 2-3 weeks. Almost a month, probably. We went on a couple dates. We hung out. We were talking. No, why do you care about my... Anyways.
Well, you're giving a story. I'm trying to... Look
well, if she's giving the information and
then
she didn't left that part out, then maybe she didn't want to expose that part.
My thing is when anybody... And this is like what I do with my sisters, too. Look, if you're going to try to say... Because they'll come to me with this manly... They want the man advice. I'm going to give them the straight thing, right?
But can't she finish her story first?
That's all I'm trying to figure out. Like,
I'm just telling her that I'm just telling her
that means no. We gotta listen to him.
We can do whatever we want to do. We're in the.
What you want to fight now?
What do you want to
fight now?
I'm so confused.
Is that a fight?
Thank you.
No, we did not have sex.
Go ahead, sugar.
Regardless, I thought he liked me. I was kind of feeling him, so I'm like, okay, maybe this could go somewhere. We literally had plans to meet up. And then that day, I texted him like, so when are we going to meet up? Never got a response. Never got anything. Called him, nothing. And I'm like, whoa. And the first thing that pops in my head, like, he had to have died. Because what are you doing? Like, what do you mean you're just literally not going to text me back? Not even say, no, I'm not coming. Or, no, this ain't going to work out. I just don't want to do it. Nothing.
So this is a 2-week...
We were talking for probably like a month. I would say a month because we went on a couple of dates. Time goes by in between those dates, talking, whatever, hanging out. Regardless, I was in a position to where I thought we were both in the same place, that we were going to get to know each other. But he just left. So you're not going to think maybe something's wrong with you or what could have happened to them? What did you do wrong? Any of that. That can drive somebody crazy. And I'm literally sitting here wondering, like, I don't know what happened to this man, but he just disappeared.
So I think another thing that contributes to ghosting is social media and idle time.
Yes.
Right. So you brought up social media earlier, and the main problem is, and this happened. This happened to me I was in a long-term relationship years ago when I first got out of high school. I was working at the airport, and I'm texting my girlfriend at the time. I'm like, dang, like she ain't. What the heck, it's been 15 minutes and she ain't hit me back. You know what I'm saying? So now we microwave, what happens, and what ghosting is based on social media, based on a timeline. OG, he was like, man, put down your phone. You got some work to do. Do something. You're going to make yourself better. You know what I'm saying? He was like, when I was younger, I didn't see my wife for a whole day. You know what I'm saying? I talked to her when I left the house that morning, talked to her when I came home at night. When I was there with her, I talked to her. He's like, when I wasn't around, I didn't talk to her. We didn't have those phones with her. He was like, I get your issue. He's like, because I text my wife now. He's like, but I text my wife something now, I put it down, and I get to her when I get to her, I'll just see her when I get home. He was like, it's not really that big of a deal. He was like,
that's his wife, though.
No, but here's my point. You know what I'm saying? Even in the girlfriend aspect, you know what I'm saying? Right now, we're so used to talking to somebody so immediately.
So much.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
I just had that
You know what I'm saying? So now, like, if we're talking, here's what really ends up happening. We exhaust a lot of things really soon via text. You know what I'm saying? These things used to come via personal communication, which would be on the second or third day.
Or just going through their social media.
But regardless.
Exhaust a lot of things.
But regardless, if I'm talking to you, you know what I'm saying, and we having a conversation and we have all deep conversations, and they're in person, that can go over the course of days, or a few days or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But when we have this via text or on social media, now those days turn into hours and minutes.
And really,
now
so if
we're
you know,
left with nothing
right?
to
So
talk
if you know my whole, if you know everything about me that I have to tell you, right? And now it's day, 4 or 5, and you asking me questions, and you still on it, and I'm like, I've kind of exhausted what I really. Now it's just up for us to get to know each other, but you still sending stuff, and it's like, okay, well now I'm being active, and now that has kind of died down, and there's no chemistry between us in actuality. So now I'm just gonna go. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to do stuff, but I don't want to do this, and we can't do this. And sometimes whatever the lives are, it doesn't allow you to be personal, which is why long-term relationships usually were hard to do, because you could only talk for so much. Well, now via social media, as you said, well, now I can figure out your whole lifespan just now, or we've had these conversations
all day.
Yeah, now I can. Now I've got my interest out of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put you right here because I know everything I need to know about you, or either we've done everything, we've had sex real quick, whatever. It's been microwave. Now I can go on to the next. Now if I need to come back to you, that's fine. But if in between me going back to you, things get crazy because I haven't called you in just a day, and you've sent me, because this has happened, you sent me. I'm pretty sure Charles has done this more than anything, where you send a whole bunch of messages in between. I know he does because he does it in our group chat, where he sends a whole bunch of messages and I don't get to send one. And especially because I've been busy, now I look at you differently.
Now I'm blocking you from sending messages.
Right. So look, now I look at you differently, and I've ghosted you only because I got busy. We're used to talking all day. I had a day where I couldn't talk all day, and now you've showed some of your colors. Now that has happened to me one good time where I got angry because of something that I misinterpreted.
You got angry?
And then the next time I talked to her, which was like, I don't know, months later, I think in another state, I think when I was in Dallas, and she was at a convention, she was like, oh, I'd only known you for like a little bit, and that was too short. That was too soon for you to even show that type of angry. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't that I got angry, I questioned something that I probably had no business questioning at that time, and it was like, she looked at it differently. So when you do that, if I have a busy day and you text and I'm like, and now it's like, it's all this, and it's like, and you like, dang, what happened to you? And it's like, and I'm like, well, my perspective of it is, well, it's only been a day, or it ain't been that long, or I was doing something and what I was doing was actually genuine, and I would have came back to you. Now I look at you different because you didn't have the composure to wait just this time, and we've talked all this time, and if you know me and know my character, then I probably wouldn't have done it. But since now I've seen this bad side or shown it too quickly because of our microwave society, you know what I'm saying, because I was doing something, you had idle time, or you was too busy being in love or in like, and wanted that to continue and push that too aggressively, now I got to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Especially between men and women, because we like to let things, we see a girl that we like to let it take its course. Let nature take its course. A woman sees a guy, as she said, damn, he took me to the farmer's market. That's different. Women want to dictate that course and get it down that road. So once you identify me as something or a guy that you like, you want to get it on that path as soon as possible. You know what I'm saying? So that it can go where you see it going. Well, men, we just want to see how this plays out. I like her, and we're going to roll with this and see where it goes. And if I have to take her off the market because I can't bear anybody else being with her, then so be it. But we're not going to rush that process. But in between that, if it seems like that process is trying to be rushed, then we got to get up out of here, because it's like, now, I've always said, if we got the rest of our life to spend together, then what's the rush? You know what I'm saying? It's going to happen regardless, because that's who we are. But if you're trying to speed that up, then we know how that goes. You know what I'm saying? Because now we don't get to enjoy what's going on, and the best things in life are savored and small. And so once that's misinterpreted as trying to be controlled, then sometimes people get out of dodge.
I think one of the things to learn, from a situation like this is really just your own communication styles and or practices, and then also being self-reflective in the sense that how you communicate with not only the people that you engage with on a day-to-day basis as far as personal relationships, but also other communication with other people. Because we deal with social media, and social media now is not just a, young people thing. It's not just a teenager thing, everybody's utilizing social media, their cell phones, their computers, their laptops, their tablets, all the time. So sometimes you do get caught up in that, as you said, microwave society, that having a phone conversation really is time consuming, and I know personally, I spend a lot of time where there was a time where I could not stand texting. I felt like I'd be like, nope, let me just text because it's a lot easier, where you kind of fall into that. Whereas if a dude met a girl and the first thing he did was text, like that was like one of those things that before was like taboo, like text. What you texting me for? Call me. What, you afraid to talk? Type of thing. But now it's like second nature, and or it's easier for men and or women to make their first initial contact via social media, via Facebook. So I may see you every day. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But instead of, Charles, you're being rude.
Talking to
But
her.
instead of talking to, I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm about to look him up on Instagram, or I'm about to look him up on Facebook, find him, and then do the initiation that way. Well, that sets the tone for the way that the communication is going to work, because oftentimes we communicate without communicating, but then we don't realize that we didn't communicate certain things. I know that was kind of confusing, but
I get it.
Sometimes I feel like when I see people that we've already had conversations that we never had. Why? Because I read something that they said or they posted or I might have commented.
Yes. And social media kind of breaks the fourth wall a little bit. It's kind of weird sometimes. I don't know if you ever noticed that, because sometimes it be people I know that would call me by my social media name or something, like my Instagram handle. Like,
right.
We know
it,
yeah. Well, I wasn't gonna say it because I didn't want to do my shameless plug, but you can also follow me on Instagram.
I didn't want to do it, but since it's here,
Dance Hustle. But no, I was gonna say that it's happened to me before in public, where you're just like, it's a fourth wall that's broken kind of thing, where it's like, oh, I see you on Instagram, and it just becomes a little weird, because it's like, I've done it to people, like somebody will post something. And I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like we're having a human interaction, but then it goes back into this cyber world kind of thing.
Right, but then you could even see that person and it's no communication. It's like, I only know you and talk to you on social media. Yeah. And so I think with those constructs, and when we get comfortable in a sense with that, then not communicating with people becomes so much easier. It's almost like when people break up or when they post things, as you said, spilling the beans. I didn't spill the beans, I tweeted it. You know what I'm saying? So if I tweet it, it's not really, I didn't say nothing. Yeah. You know what I mean? I tweeted it. But
you just took offense to it. How you know who I was talking about?
But it creates another means for people to be able to do things that they would normally not do. For example, I can say a whole bunch of stuff through text message that I would not say
send picture, post
verbally.
Pictures and all
you
that
know what
stuff.
I mean? And we've gotten used to that. So then we become what we are, posting or doing. But the hardest part, if we go way back to just at the end of the day, we're going to have a conversation face to face. You know what I mean? We're going to have that human interaction. And I believe that now it's probably harder to have these difficult, tough conversations sitting down with people, because if you look at even the media, and I think tonight is the night. I don't watch Love and Hip Hop anymore, but I know when it comes to all these reunions, I'm thinking in my head like, reunion? What we need to have a reunion about for or whatever. But anyway, when they do sit down and talk, nobody can accept what's being said. It's like, if you say something crazy to me, then
it's just this socially awkward thing.
Right. And when it's like, hello, people have had conversations before where they said things that you didn't like and it didn't have to become physical. But now everybody's so sensitive. Yeah, we're like hypersensitive. So it's like, somebody should be able to text me or call me or sit down with me face to face and tell me I'm not interested, and I should be able to take that. I might. No,
you might not like it.
But what I'm saying is,
you're gonna say why.
You can ask why,
but they don't want to say the why.
But what I'm telling you is just that we're punks.
But you're not
and it's the truth.
Hide behind phones and laptops and everything else.
But you're not gonna just say okay and take it.
No.
You can ask questions, but you should be able to. Somebody should be able to break up with you. So are you breakupable?
Right, but even still, but look, that mindset right there.
The whole thing might make me want to ghost you, because I might want to be like.
Well, based on your personality anyway, it sounds like you want to go, because you can't even accept someone not accepting that you don't want to be with them.
I can ghost and I cannot ghost. It just depends on. It also just depends on the scenario and the person.
But to her point is, if you
I'm saying is, if I'm dating Sharifa, for example, she's very like, oh, you a punk. She just said that. Oh, people is punks now. You don't want to tell me how you don't want to break up. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be like, hey, peace and love, peace peace and love.
I mean,
this is what I want to say. I want to say peace and love.
I said, I'm just keeping it real.
No.
So then I'm saying, for example,
she wasn't calling you a punk though.
No, but she said people. She said people.
But she was including herself though.
So I'm saying that to say that I might not want to, for example.
I'm about to watch this back so I can see that.
Yeah, exactly. So she's doing the table bang. I'm like, you know what? This might not be the person I need to say. I don't want to go to your house.
Well, that's why I said, are you breakupable?
Hey, Sharifa, you know.
But that's different. That's different than having an issue with somebody and you know that, you know what, I got to break up with them and it's going to hurt their feelings, and not having the mitigated gall to go and actually say something to them.
If you
because
knew that it was going to become any type of physical or violent or anything like that, of course you don't want to be in the same vicinity as that person. So send a text message, send a call. The whole point of the ghost
in the middle of the night.
That's the kind of women you deal with,
right?
The kind of women, women slash. I don't know if there's a kind out there. There's
it is because I'm not. No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, look, that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother separate. A woman scorn will do anything.
I bust the windows out your car.
A woman scorn will do anything.
What kind of woman is that? I don't know because that was a platinum record.
Not when you're in your right mind. So when you're not in your right mind, you'll do anything.
No, but it's true, and that's why you just got to be careful.
I just want to. I was just chiming into what she was saying. Are you breakupable?
No doubt, because some people are crazy, and you can't just.
Well, there's some people that just
they don't handle stuff. Yeah, they don't handle stuff very well. But to me, it's just you got to know the psyche of people. You know what I'm saying? And case in point, before I got a girlfriend, if I liked you, I didn't tell them I did radio. It was because it's an unfair situation that, first off, you guys, we can have conversations that they can't have, that you guys can have perspective of that she didn't understand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it's an unfair advantage.
Right. And it's like
in the conversation game.
Right. But the thing is, a lot of these scenarios aren't applicable to you. So if I'm talking about a relationship that I had back in the past, how I was then before I learned about who I am now, and they hear it, and all of a sudden they apply it to them. You know what I'm saying? They apply it to them. It's like, oh, well, you know what? They may not be able to take it. You know what I'm saying? If they don't have an open mind to be able to have conversation, a fluid conversation. And I know, just from our perspective, dealing with a lot of women, you know what I'm saying? Case in point, if, you know, giving a compliment to another woman, hey, you're pretty, you know, and then you're giving, like, if I can't date a girl to be like, my girl, I'll be like, oh, you're pretty. And then she's like, well, what does it have to do with me? It has nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? At all. You know what I'm saying? The other day I was lifting weights, and then I'm around this girl, and she was heavy set, right? And, you know, I'm like, well, I got to lift weights because I got to lose some more weight. And then like, why? What's wrong with you? You look fine. You look thick. Okay, that's not the point. You know what I'm saying? I want to lose some more weight. You know what I'm saying? That has nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times we apply things to us because we are so mentally unstable or not fragile. So getting ghosted sometimes has to happen because it's the only way that you can grow. And a lot of us are insecure about certain things, and we know good and well why somebody either didn't respond or ain't talked to us. You know what I'm saying? We know what we've done, and a lot of times we just want that other chance to plead with them or whatever. But when they don't,
you're not gonna
right. And sometimes it's the best way to grow. So it's not, to me, it's not all bad. But then again, that needs to be a case by case basis. And if you had open communication with somebody and you've been able to talk and you're in depth with them, you know what I'm saying, and you've been rocking with them and y'all got a bond and y'all done share moments and y'all been intimate or whatever case may be, then you should be able to also have that. I don't want to say destructive, but actually constructive conversation. As you say, you know what?
And it might not be a reason.
Right.
That's another thing
I just gotta go. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta go. You know what I'm saying?
It just don't feel right.
Yeah, this is better for me. You know what I'm saying? I always tell the woman, like, I'm better with change. You know, any woman that's ever wanted to leave me, you know what? I'm glad you had the guts to do it. Like, even with the mother of my child, I hated her, you know what I'm saying, for what she was telling me. But at the end of the day, if you're not happy, then it would be a lot worse situation than living with you and you dying on the inside, trying to be something that you're not. And trying to change and leave and do something that you thought was great, something that you thought was supposed to be something, and it turned out to be something completely that it wasn't. To have the guts to be like, you know what, I got to change directions because this is not what I thought it was. Because I know we've all been wrong, you know what I'm saying, about what we thought we wanted or what it was, and it ended up not being what it was. A lot of us are just sit in that situation and just be in it. You know what I'm saying? So those that actually have the strength to leave, it's cool, but they just need to understand that, you know what?
Communicate.
Yeah. If you communicate that, the other person might be as strong and be like, you know what? Eventually, like, yeah, you're right. They may not like it right away, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, you're right, and I got to go ahead and do this, you know what I'm saying? So
I don't think it's ever too late to, go back and if the opportunity presents itself, you know what I mean, to explain to a person, like if you run into them, to be able to have that, conversation, to just say like,
That's
hey,
like some movie stuff. I don't think about it. I'm saying I don't think.
Well,
like,
that happens all the time.
like you
this
know
world
what?
is small.
I was immature at the time. Yeah, I was avoiding you.
I would love to tell some people that, because I've had those scenarios where I was literally like, growing up, I kind of went through these 2 major phases, 3 really, but I went through a whole ugly duckling phase, and then I went through like, oh, I'm getting taller, now women are attracted to me, lanky dude. I was all, so I went through this phase where I was, getting women, and women were attracted to me. So I was immature at that phase because I still didn't even know how to even handle that situation. I wasn't prepared mentally. So there's a lot of situations where I was just playing this, gotta catch them all kind of game. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't right. So a lot of people, when I look back on situations, I'm like, damn, I really could have just taken that situation more seriously, or gave that person the opportunity or whatever. But much like you, I also got the flip side of it on the side where I'm like, dang, I hung out with her, or we hooked up and she ain't hit me back. And did I not meet the standards of that, what she was expecting that night, or, that whole mental thing. So now you go to the next one because you're just trying to fulfill this empty space in your heart or whatever. So I definitely went through that whole gambit to learn, to have to get to that point. You are giving me sign language.
Yeah, because I want to ask a question.
I was like,
all right. I'm like, call her.
Yeah. No. POTUS, you back there? You ever been ghosted?
On the mic.
I want you to tell us about it.
He says that he says that it's a fairy tale that people don't ever reunite and actually get things clear. So, can you give us your experience with ghosting? And
my experience was the first. I've only recalled being ghosted once, and I didn't know what was going on. I thought, well, maybe the person needed their space, so I fell back during that first, but then. After a couple of weeks, he called me again, and I was like, okay, this is confusing now, because I thought when he stopped texting me that it was pretty much over.
Right.
And so when he came back, when he texted me again, it got confusing. So what I did was I let a few more weeks go by, but ghosting is fucked up. You do want to know what happened. You do, especially if you've been dating. I mean, we were dating way more than a few weeks. It was almost a year. Mm-hmm. So
that's deep.
So I just said, hey, we need to talk. And actually, I just said, hey, I'm on my way to your place. Mm. And I went out there. And the thing was, he was just so happy to see me, and the chemistry and everything was still there, so I was confused, but he felt pressure, and so that was
he could have communicated.
He could have communicated with me, but he felt like he didn't know me that well to open up to what was going on with him.
And that's deep.
So let me ask this: so would you, if you looking back, could you have changed anything?
There's nothing I would have changed, because I felt like I was handling the relationship properly.
But
and what
being
he told
responsible
me,
for what taking responsibility for how your actions made him feel, you don't think you could apply that differently to another situation?
Yeah, I definitely learned from it, and I just feel like it can't always be on. I can't read your mind. I didn't know if something I said offended you, or like you mentioned with the girl who asked how many kids you want. She had no idea that was going to run you off, because it's just a question.
Because
you know what I'm saying?
To others, it doesn't run them off. It's an embrace. It's an embrace question.
Right. Yeah. So when you're getting to know somebody, you kind of want to know what their mindset is before you even take further steps.
So that's not a first date question, right?
And nowadays, it's an any
I
day
think
question.
it's okay.
Nowadays, it's okay.
Everything is open.
I think
But-
it's okay to ask if you want kids on the first
But
date.
I do think it's circumstantial and has to be within context. How you ask
I
it
think
does
just
matter.
depends on the way Charles was raised, the way Charles sees things. That just wasn't okay.
I
with him.
think ghosting is the
I
most
just thought that was
cowardly
real.
thing a person can do. You need to man up and talk, or woman up and talk to that person, because it really
you
makes
need to be breakable.
because actually I would rather a guy tell me I ain't fucking with you no more, goodbye, rather
Right.
than not say
Right.
But-
And then
any.
you feel like
And
you
you
don't
respect
care
him
about
more.
you at all.
You gotta be
And you be in your head. So after talking to the guy, are you guys still friends? Is it resolved?
Yes.
Okay. And so-
After we talked, it was a really good, open, relaxed, because I didn't come off real foul. I'm like, why in the hell? I just said, hey, I thought I was never going to see you. What happened?
Mhm.
And then, but first it was small talk, and then we got into
The
what
depth.
happened, and he explained that he was feeling some kind of pressure and that he's been dealing with some shit at the job and is taking care of his family. So I said, okay, well, I understand those type of things. I would have happily given you the space you need to do that. You just got to communicate. But now, after that talk, I didn't call him. I said, this is the point where he
So
can.
you ghosted him.
This is my goodbye.
No, if
No,
he's
no, no.
interested or whatever.
I gave him his space, and I said,
he was
"This
wanted.
is the opportunity for him to never call me again, or to
Right.
try to come back and redeem himself." So, a few more weeks went by, but he called. He even came by, visited, hung out, but I still am in a space where I just let him initiate, because you ghosted. I don't know.
What too much? You don't know.
I'm not finna put
yeah.
too much into it, because
You don't want
could
to end
do
back
that
up in that
again.
predicament.
Right.
You don't know when the pressure is applied.
So,
there's
but
definitely
I
growth.
understand now what happened, and now I'm more aware of when I get into my next situation.
Charles, last word.
I would say being somebody that's been on both sides, or I would say all three sides, because I had a friendly ghost scenario in addition to being ghosted to ghosting. I would just say that it's situations where I was on the opposing view this whole time, but I'm not an advocate of just ghosting people. But there are people that you just are in a situation with that you need to get out of your lives, and y'all aren't compatible. And if they're not getting the messages that you're sending them, they might feel ghosted, but you might need to just distance yourself from that person. And if they need some kind of answers, try to give it to them. But at the end of the day, you don't really owe, unless you really owe that person an explanation, meaning y'all got kids together, y'all got some kind of real deep connection. Hey, God bless.
Ghosts.
Sugar, what you got for us?
Well, I'm going to read this excerpt from Psychology Today so that you guys know how to move forward if you are ghosted. The important thing to remember is that when somebody ghosts you, it says nothing about you or your worthiness for love, and everything about the person doing the ghosting. It shows he or she doesn't have the courage to deal with the discomfort of their emotions or yours, and they either don't understand the impact of their behavior, or worse, don't care. In any case, they have sent you an extremely loud message that says, I don't have what it takes to have a mature, healthy relationship with you. Be the better person, retain your dignity, and let him or her go peacefully.
Amen. Akilah Trinae.
I was going to pretty much share part of that. Don't allow someone else's bad behavior to rob you of your better future by losing your vulnerability and shutting yourself off from another relationship, because sometimes you have a tendency when you get hurt to be like, I'm done, I'm not talking to anybody,
Never gonna love again.
So it's not that. I can't recall a time when I was ghosted, and actually, I'm sorry, I was not ghosted. I was properly broken up with.
You were breakupable.
And the guy just kind of told me, like, he needed time and space and whatever, and I respected it. Of course, I had my questions, like, this seems odd, but I appreciated that and I respected that. And to this day, I can look at that person like, you're an upstanding man, he's married and gone on with his life and everything, but it's just like, I can respect you as a person versus the one who doesn't say anything and avoids and does all that. It's like, you're whack to me. And I know that just even in this conversation, it's like, you don't want to be whack to another person. So I think it's really good just to self-reflect, like I said before, and look at your own communication styles and ways that maybe you can be that way and or not break upable, and people don't feel comfortable communicating with you with how they feel because maybe you are, providing too much pressure or you're not understanding of the other person's situation. So, yeah.
Detroit.
So I'll say this. You can never be more smart than wise. Wisdom always trumps being smart. So when you want to break up with someone and you want to be smart about it and try to ghost someone, it's better to just be wise and go through it. Wisdom and being wise lies in the experience of what you're going through, and wisdom allows you growth. Smart will can possibly create voids and negative reactions because you thought you were being smart. Be wise and go through it so that you can learn from it and be smarter, better, so that it never gets to that point in the first place. Once you be smart, you'll lose a friend forever. You be wise about it, and you'll retain likely and grow from that forever. And that's just in life, period. It's better to go through something and wise up through wisdom. But this is Love Connections from Poetess, Dance Hustle, Sugar, Akilah Trinae.
Wait, does he have it? Oh, I'm confused. Good night.
I am Don Trill, Detroit. This is Black Street. Don't stay. If you go.
Peace and love.
And hair grease. We love y'all.
What is girls on?